Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is December 18th, 2022, and we are in the New Testament, and I'm going to read from the book of Revelation. We're going to read chapter 8, verse 6 to 9, verse 21. Okay, so where are we in John's vision? Well, this is his second vision. We just saw the Jesus opened the scroll. He opened all seven seals. We saw the prayers of the believers cast down, which started catastrophes happening on the earth. Now we see seven angels with trumpets. They're going to sound their trumpets one at a time. Now again, there's lots of symbology here. Everything means something, and you can spend a lot of time trying to analyze all this. We're not going to do that. We're just looking at the big picture stuff here. So first thing to notice is how this compares with the seals. Again, they're opening them. They open the seals one at a time, and champions came out and unleashed the power of God on the earth. And each seal that was opened, it got progressively higher. So that's going to be the same thing that we're going to see with these trumpets. The result of the first trumpet is some pretty scary stuff, but it just keeps building and building and building as God unleashes his fury at the unbelievers left on the earth. First four trumpet blasts, and into the fifth one, you should kind of see some similarities back to Exodus, in Pharaoh, and let my people go, and the plagues that were brought on Exodus, because some of those are what's playing out. So whereas that was directed at Pharaoh and the Egyptians, here with the trumpets, these plagues are for the whole earth, all the unbelievers on earth. When we get the sixth seal, well, you kind of see Sodom and Gomorrah and the raining down of brimstone and fire on those cities in the Old Testament. Well, here at the end, it's being rained down on all of planet Earth and all of the unbelievers, because of their idolatry. And then that's where this section ends. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Revelation 8, verse 6 to 9:21. Then the seven angels with the seven trumpets prepared to blow them. The first angel blew his trumpet. Hail and fire mixed with blood came pouring down on the earth. A third of the earth was burned up, a third of the trees and every blade of green grass. Then the second angel blew his trumpet. Something that looked like a huge mountain on fire was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea was turned into blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. Then the third angel blew his trumpet. A large star burning like a torch dropped from the sky and fell on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is bitterness. A third of the water turned bitter, and many people died from drinking the water because it had turned bitter. Then the fourth angel blew his trumpet. A third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that their light lost a third of its brightness. There was no light during a third of the day and a third of the night also. When I looked, and I heard an eagle that was flying high in the air, saying in a loud voice, "Oh, horror, horror! How horrible it will be for all who live on earth when the sound comes from the trumpet that the other three angels must blow." Then the fifth angel blew his trumpet. I saw a star which had fallen down to earth, and it was given the key to the abyss. The star opened the abyss, and smoke poured out of it, like the smoke from a large furnace. The sunlight and the air were darkened by the smoke from the abyss. Locusts came down out of the smoke upon the earth. They were given the same kind of power that scorpions have. They were told not to harm the grass or the trees or any other plant. They could harm only the people who did not have the mark of God's seal on their foreheads. The locusts were not allowed to kill these people, but only to torture them for 5 months. The pain caused by the torture is like the pain caused by a scorpion's sting. During those 5 months they will seek death, but will not find it. They will want to die, but death will flee from them. The locusts looked like horses ready for battle. On their heads they had what seemed to be crowns of gold, and their faces were like men's faces. Their hair was like women's hair. Their teeth were like lions' teeth. Their chests were covered with what looked like breastplates, and the noise of many horse-drawn chariots rushing into battle. They have tails and stings like those of the scorpion, and it is with their tails that they have the power to hurt people for 5 months. They have a king ruling over them, who is the angel in charge of the abyss. His name in Hebrew is Abaddon. In Greek, the name is Apollon, meaning the destroyer. The first horror is over. After this, there are still 2 more horrors to come. Then the sixth angel blew his trumpet. I heard a voice coming from the 4 corners of the gold altar standing before God. The voice said to the sixth angel, release the great Euphrates River. Oh, release the 4 angels who bound the great Euphrates River. The 4 angels were released. For this very hour, and this very day, and this very month and year, they had been kept ready to kill 1/3 of all mankind. I was told the number of the mounted troops. It was 200 million. And in my vision, I saw the horses and their riders. They had breastplates and they had breastplates red as fire, blue as sapphire, and yellow as sulfur. The horses' heads were like lions' heads, and from their mouths came out fire, smoke, and sulfur. 1/3 of mankind was killed by those 3 plagues, the fire, the smoke, and the sulfur coming out of the horses' mouths. For the power of the horses is in their mouths and also in their tails. The tails are like snakes with heads, and they use them to hurt people. The rest of mankind, all those who had not been killed by these plagues, did not turn away from what they themselves had made. They did not stop worshiping demons, nor the idols of gold and silver and bronze and stone and wood, which cannot see, hear, or walk, nor did they repent of their murders, their magic, their sexual immoralities, or their stealing. May God bless the reading of His Word. May God bless you. Bye.